I'm Rantasmo, and Takashi Miike needs more gay. In one of my very first videos, I talked about Japan. It was a different time, words were mispronounced, people weren't as well lit. But one thing you may have gleaned from that video is that Japan has something of a reputation for being a little... that. To be fair, not all of the media that comes out of Japan is completely cuckoo bananas, but it is the origin of some of the most extreme images we've seen. And when you mix in influences from some of the strangest American directors, like Paul Verhoeven, David Cronenberg, and David Lynch, you get one of the most extreme directors ever, Takashi Miike. Miike's most famous movies include Lady Cuts Off Dude's Foot, Teenagers Killed by Haunted Cell Phones, this, and Zombie Musical. He's best known for his shocking images of brutal violence and sexual assault, to the point where he's been repeatedly accused of misogyny. Miike is also one of the few Japanese live-action directors to implement a recurring theme of homosexuality, albeit subtly at times. And as far as I'm aware, he's not gay or bisexual himself. Let's dive right in with one of Miike's all-time strangest movies, Gozu. Translated to English, Gozu means cowhead. Interesting. Let's take a look. Not sure what I was expecting. This minotaur thing isn't even actually on screen for very long, but this is one of the few interesting scenes that I can actually show you. Yeah, definitely can't show you that. Pretty sure that's not acceptable. Puppy! And now I'm scarred for life. Gozu is a horror movie about the Japanese mafia, or yakuza. It's about a young mafioso ordered to dispose of his mentally unbalanced co-gangster. Then things get weird, and somehow the crazy guy ends up in the body of a woman, and then things get weirder. I'm told that this movie is an elaborate allegory of the main character coming to terms with his homosexuality. It's definitely not unreasonable to interpret it that way, but if such a subtext exists, it's buried under many, many layers of something that I don't care to touch with my bare hands. Something gooey. As original and risky as this movie is, it definitely embodies the most frustrating thing about Miike's movies. His stories are so complex and esoteric that it makes them really difficult to penetrate. If you've seen Gozu, then you know that probably wasn't the best word choice. Shinjuku Triad Society is a little more direct and realistic, though it's definitely not short on brutality. Seriously, this thing is vicious. No. God, no. Okay, here we go. This is another gang movie, but it's more of a conventional crime drama. It follows a triad group led by a charismatic gay guy and his sidekick, attack twink, and the ruthless cop hunting them down. Moral ambiguity is the focal point here, and the fact that the film has gay people committing one reprehensible act after another might raise a few eyebrows. But the gay villains are actually the most sympathetic characters, especially compared to our protagonist, who... yeah, I'm not even gonna go there. There are so many characters and subplots here that it's difficult to really follow, and it's most assuredly not for everyone. But it's an interesting take on gangster movies, and it's worth checking out if you can stomach it. Now here's a movie I can get behind, Big Bang Love, Juvenile A. It's got a lot of Miike's trademarks, gay criminals, moral ambiguity, and references to sexual violence, though it's a lot less graphic overall. It's an art house, mystical, tragic, romantic murder mystery about the relationship between two young inmates. As usual, the story is a little bizarre and begs certain questions. Like, whose idea was it to build a prison next to a Mayan pyramid? And a rocket ship? And a ghost? But it's not often that you see live-action media come out of Japan that's this brazenly homoerotic. Certainly not something this complex and visually dazzling. Tragic, yes. Incredibly long and confusing title, yes. But I enjoyed this one, mainly because, and this is true of just about all Miike movies, it's unlike anything else I've seen. Call him controversial, polarizing, or any number of silly names. But if there's one thing Takashi Miike knows how to do well, it's grab your attention.